So, what's the one thing that really separates a good teacher from a truly great one? You know, it's not just about killer lesson plans or having perfect classroom management. It's something deeper. It's all about the ability to act ethically. And today, we're going to dive into why this is the absolute non-negotiable core of professional teaching. All right, let's just cut right to the chase here. I want you to think about this for a second. If you strip away all the pedagogy, all the curriculum documents, all the fancy classroom strategies, what's actually left? What is that one single, unshakable foundation of great teaching?
Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It's trust. Plain and simple. It's not about technique, it's not even just about knowledge. The absolute bedrock, as our source material puts it, is the relationship of trust that teachers must establish and maintain with society. And that one powerful idea, that's what we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so trust. It sounds great, but what does it actually look like in the real world, in a real classroom? To really get it, we've got to look at its foundation. And trust me, this isn't some vague, feel-good idea. It is the engine that drives everything a teacher does.
Yeah, this idea of trust isn't some abstract thing just floating out there. Nope, it's forged in hundreds of tiny, daily interactions, with students, with your colleagues, with parents. Every single ethical choice you make is like another brick in the wall, building the very climate where kids can actually succeed. It's practical, it's tangible, and it is absolutely essential.
So, if trust is the why behind everything, then what's the what? I mean, what do we really mean when we say ethical professionalism? Because, as you're about to see, it is way more than just having a gut feeling about what's right and what's wrong. Okay, so the official definition here really boils down to two key words: professionalism and judgment. Now notice, it doesn't just say following the rules. What it's really implying is that an ethical teacher is an expert. They're a professional who takes complete ownership of their decisions and their methods, all while working inside that bigger professional framework. And this brings us to a really important distinction. See, anyone can be a technician, right? Just passively following a checklist of rules. But a true professional, they exercise active judgment. Their actions are based on the context of the situation. They're not rigid. They get the why behind a rule, not just the what. And that, right there, is the leap from just blindly complying to practicing ethics in a genuine way. So being able to explain that why, that's what it's all about. That's what defines ethical professionalism. It's about being able to stand behind your decisions and say, here's exactly why this approach is the right one for this particular student in this specific context. It's the huge difference between just doing stuff and being truly intentional with your practice. Now, of course, this professional judgment doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It operates through a very specific lens, a really foundational mindset that shapes every single decision you make. And that is an attitude of inclusion. And listen, inclusion is not just some vague, nice-to-have feeling. The source material is super clear on this. It defines it as an act of equity, a tangible, active response to the real-world diversity that exists in a school. Let me put it another way. Inclusion isn't something you just feel. It's something you do. And what's the result of all that action? What's the outcome? It's creating an environment where every single student feels valued, respected, and understood. That sense of belonging, that's the fertile ground where real learning happens. And look at that. It brings us right back to that foundation of trust we were talking about at the very beginning.
Okay, so we've talked about the foundation of trust and we've talked about the mindset of inclusion. But now, this is where the rubber really meets the road. How does all this theory actually translate into concrete, everyday behaviors? Let's take a look at ethics in action.
And this is such a crucial point. Ethical practice isn't just a passive belief system you hold in your head. No, it's a series of deliberate, conscious actions that you take day in and day out. These are the actions that actively build that climate of trust and success we keep talking about. So what are these actions? Well, they range from being protective to being proactive. On one hand, yeah, it's about protecting things, like the confidentiality of private information, but it also demands that you take proactive steps, like calling out practices that lead to exclusion or discrimination, and actively choosing to use equitable and transparent methods. It's really a commitment to both acting with integrity and being an advocate. Okay, so let's pull it all together. We've got trust, we've got professional judgment, we have inclusion, and we have action. So what does it all add up to? What's the big picture here? Let's look at the incredible impact a teacher's ethical practice can have. When you get right down to it, it all comes back to this one simple truth. Every single ethical judgment, every inclusive action, every moment of integrity, it all contributes to the learning climate. Your individual practice is what creates the conditions for every single student to grow and to thrive. And that, well, that's a profound responsibility, but it's also an absolutely incredible opportunity.
So, we're going to leave you with this final thought. Acting ethically isn't something you just think about for your annual review. It's for right now. It's for the very next conversation you have. So the real question is, how will your actions, both the big and the small ones, build that essential foundation of trust in your community, starting right now?